So, grüezi miteinander. Eigentlich möchte ich auch sehr gerne oder auf Deutsch meine Vortragssachen sprechen, also Deutsch sprechen, aber also die offizielle Sprache ist English, yeah. So I try to make the presentation in English. So, yeah, the topic. Ja, gut, ich habe noch nicht gut vorbereitet. Und deswegen habe ich auch Englisch, also mein Vortrag auf Englisch. Yeah. My name is Sasaki, from Kyushu University. I think you have also heard about hydrogen because in each presentation you can also find that the hydrogen is also key materials for toward the carbon neutrality. Kyushu University has also certain focus for the hydrogen research. So I will also try to give what the academia can also do in this area, and also the government also can do in this actually the interesting areas. I'm acting as a senior vice president almost 9 years. From next month, my 10th year's term will start, but I hope that is maybe the last term. So I can also spend more time for my own research. And you can also see that I got also PhD from ETH Zürich. So I'm actually the Swiss-made researchers. And I can also explain our activities from actually the viewpoint of the Japan, but also viewpoint of the Switzerland. Um, uh, Simultaneously, I'm also acting as the chair of the hydrogen and ammonia policy of the Japanese government. So I can also answer to the political issue. Especially the hydrogen and ammonia is very critical materials towards the carbon neutrality. I'm also mentioned that we are locating in the southwest part of Japan. So Fukuoka is not so far from here. Fukuoka, uh, in our university, we have the largest university campus of this country. So we have enough spaces. So our president is always happy if I want to build a new building. We have enough spaces to prepare such facilities. Simultaneously, I learned so much from the German-speaking parts. So German-speaking part for universities, because in Germany, for example, the professor acts as an institute leader, acting as a mentor, supporting the younger generation. So very often in Japan, each laboratory is very small. Just one professor dominate this research and education. But I try to support or integrate younger generation to establish larger team. And of course, the hydrogen is a very big issue. So just one professor can do nothing. But building the big team, we can also consider how we can also change the society to realize the hydrogen economy. I would like to mention that why the hydrogen is important. Uh, I'm also explain shortly the history of the Kyushu University. At first, the University of Tokyo is established to run the government. Then realized that we need also university for scientific part. So Kyoto University has been established. So, and 125 years ago, exactly 1900, government has decided to establish additionally two imperial universities. But we face serious difficulties because 120 years ago, there was also war between the Japan and Russia. So government lost almost the money, but industry paid for to establish two universities. So the 1907, Tohoku University has been established, and 1911, Kyushu University has been also established. Kyushu area is the first place where the first industrial revolution in Asia has been started. So after UK and Europe, we learned such new energy technologies. So we integrated such technology into this area, especially the North Kyushu. For example, first a big steel making plant has been also established in Fukuoka area, and that was also reason why we need Imperial University to educate uh, next generation talent in area of engineering. So, but a huge since the industrial revolution, we spent huge, fossil fuels. So we are facing now the climate crisis and such a problem. So we have to also change to reduce, of course, the emission of CO2. One of the solution is the realize the electrochemical energy conversion because we have chemical energy and we can efficiently convert from chemical energy directly into electricity. That is the technology fuel cell, and I learned these technologies when I was a PhD student at ETH Zürich. So I started this area of the research now from 1989 when I was an exchange student between the Tokyo Tech and the ETH Zurich. And since then, more than 30 years, that is I'm also engaged in these energy research areas. Of course, the fuel cell and hydrogen can also be realized. For example, the hydrogen mobility with a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle has already commercialized by Toyota and Honda, but also residential fuel cell like any farm, we said, realize of course efficient use of fossil fuel or the natural gas and realize the co-generation. But currently we are learning that the use of hydrogen itself is also helpful to reduce the CO2 emission, for example, in thermal power plant, for example. So introducing the hydrogen and also hydrogen carrier like ammonia is also considered to be also used in thermal power plant to reduce huge amount of the CO2 emissions. Of course, the hydrogen become hot topics, and I would like to say sometimes we said the hydrogen hype, especially in Europe, because Europe facing the serious difficulties within the energy sectors, was also dependent on the natural gas from Russia. But now currently, such hydrogen hype is somehow declining. And even though there are so many projects in Europe, but now some project has been also stopped and cancelled. But I would also like to say that most of the project has also ongoing and final investment FID, final investment decision has been also made to integrate such a hydrogen technology into the market. You can also see that many activities are also planned in the United States. That was also facing the serious problem. But other countries like China and India is also still active. And actually, China is very, very active to introducing, for example, heavy-duty application, also hydrogen-based electrolyzers. Uh, yeah, Japan has also determined hydrogen energy policy. Our emission is 1 trillion ton, so much larger than the CO2 emission from Switzerland. So we have more responsibility to reduce the hydrogen CO2 emission. So one important point is that electric sectors actually they emit also almost half of the CO2. So we also may also use the hydrogen and ammonia for the thermal power plant. So we can also automatically reduce, of course, the CO2 emission. That is one thing. But also other things is that hydrogen and ammonia can also be helpful for the non-electricity sectors. Yeah, as previous speaker has also mentioned that we have to care about the hard to abate sectors, especially industrial sectors have difficulties to reduce the CO2 emission. So hydrogen and ammonia can also help reducing the CO2 emission from industrial sectors. And for example, chemical industry and the steelmaking industry may also use hydrogen and ammonia to produce chemical, green chemicals and also green steel that could be also be sold to the industrial sectors. And of course, mobility emit also certain CO2, and hydrogen mobility can help reducing the CO2 emission. And the Toyota and Honda also very, very active in these hydrogen areas. Yeah, Japan is a country who has also initiated such the hydrogen policy. We have also national policy focusing for the hydrogen since 2017. But after that, since almost 3 years, we have revised the hydrogen policy, and I'm acting as the chair of this committee. So we have also revised the national policy paper in the hydrogen. And also we are very happy that last year we have new law, Hydrogen Society Promotion Law. So I made also presentation in the parliament before the 40 congressman, and I have to answer to any kind of question from the all parties. But finally, almost all parties agrees. A leading party, governing party, but also even the opposition parties are also already agreed to these laws. So even though we don't know who will be the prime minister of these countries, but I'm very don't we don't do not worry that even though which yeah I don't know which party we also rule the Japanese government, but almost all party is for this hydrogen policy and hydrogen technologies. Of course, it takes time, and we are facing so-called the chicken and egg problem. So hydrogen is, of course, expensive. So only the limited number of people can also use and pay for that. So it takes also time to introduce such new decarbonized fuels. But of course, the commercialization has been also started from the passenger vehicles area. For example, commercialization of fuel cell vehicles has also started from Toyota and Honda since 2015 or the 2016. And now we are trying to introduce the commercial vehicles like the trucks and also buses, where of course we have to compete against the diesel fuels. But still, diesel fuel is also relatively expensive, so we can also introduce such hydrogen-based technologies in coming years. And of course, the Japanese government prepared for 3 trillion Japanese yen for supporting the covering the price difference between the fossil fuel and hydrogen or ammonia. Such funding and support will also help to substitute or introduce the hydrogen and ammonia in the power generation sectors. And of course, such a budget compensation will also help for the chemical industry and steel making industry. And these industry are also very has a strong interest for the hydrogen, and we have good collaboration with such industrial sectors. Yeah, there are so many research projects and topics, and historically, Japan spend more time or the more effort to the hydrogen utilization. So, for example, we have also several NATO project, governmental project, supporting, for example, the electrocatalyst research for fuel cell vehicles, and also stationary fuel cell, and so on. And of course, know that Switzerland is very strong in the hydrogen storage, and also you have a good researchers in the social scientists. We are not so strong actually in this area, but both countries can also work together to introduce such new technology into the society. So this is the last slide. Uh, yeah, we are really determined, especially our university is determined in this area. And for example, we have the hydrogen refueling station since 2005. So since 20 years, we have the hydrogen station within in the really the middle of our campus. We have visitors since 20 years. We have visitors of more than 70,000 members, and so I hope if you have a time to come to Fukuoka, and we are happy to show our activities. Finally, I have also one announcement that was also become open in the next paper that Kyushu University will established new hydrogen institute since the next April, the called Hydrogen Institute for Sustainability, because we have now three research centers, and that we also integrated into the big research institute. So I hope that we can also accelerate the hydrogen research in coming years, and that is my the last. So I would like to end my talk. Thank you very much.